he did a legacy tour, so we commented on it, and there you go. Now, issue number 2, Matt Green's battle with the bed bugs. This was something that happened where Matt Green did a long interview about, his concerns about poverty and bed bugs, and going door to door during the campaign and seeing people with actual bed bugs on them. And he was musing about things that might help that. And he brought up DDT, which of course is a lightning rod for controversy. It's a banned chemical in the province. He brought it up within a broader context of the conversation. When I approached Matt on social media to say, Matt, I get the bed bugs thing. I mean, it sounds horrendous. I haven't seen them myself. Sounds horrendous. But why DDT? This was his initial response to me. If we've got that tweet, we'll put up from Matt. He said, out of a long, nuanced convo about bed bugs, the story was DDT. Actual quotes, I deferred science and evidence. So, Loren, we'll have some more tweets from Matt on this and from others. But what was your reaction when you saw those headlines, which said, new Ward 3 councillor wants DDT?
So I, like any consumer of local news, reads the headline, the first paragraph, right, and might look at a picture if one is attached. And therefore, I walked away from reading the headline, thinking that new councillor Matt Green wants to, poison the babies of Ward 3. But regretfully, I'm not that much of an ignorant news consumer, and did read the whole article. That is what happens when you talk to the media. The most salacious word that comes out of your mouth is where the headline is developed.
Right.
I think Matt learned a very valuable lesson, and whether he chooses to bring up things that are as lightning rod-ish as DDT again, we'll need to know. But knowing how to deal with the media, you can plant those salacious bits in there too and change your own headlines.
Which you've certainly done over the years. You're a master at the salacious planted bits. But I did give Matt my response on social media, which was effectively, nuance doesn't work with the media. You can't muse with the media. You've got to be very focused on your messaging. And some people gave feedback that they don't think that that's the way the world should work, but it is. I mean, media training 101, and I think he learned a hard lesson. But here's a tweet he put out a few days later about a lesson apparently he's learned from me. He said, some of the best political advice, don't get mad at the media, be the media via me, and videos coming. So I guess a while back, even before I think he was running for council, I may have said that to him, that you can get your own messaging out. And so he's doing videos to get his own better context out on this issue. A lesson learned from a new person on council? Is that just what this chalks up to, Loren? Is a newbie mistake?
I think so. I hope so. And it's a wonderful idea that Matt's going to be making videos to speak to his constituents. Yeah. That's great, but you still need to deal with the broader media as well. Yeah, it's not an either or.
I joked earlier, you said that they'd be missing Bob Bertina, the Hamilton media. Well, if Matt Green keeps doing this, which I hope that he doesn't for his own sake, but if he keeps throwing things in there with his conversations with the media, they'll have lots of quotes coming out of Ward 3. On a serious note, though, the bed bug issue does need to get addressed. It is tied, of course, to people who are living in poverty. It's a terrible way to live, and it's inexcusable, the rate of bed bugs in some of the lower, in some of the lower income apartments and things in town. So Matt Green raises an important issue. We have to look at this issue, and here's a quote of support from another new councillor, if we can just pull up this tweet that I got today. Good to see Matt Green make the argument that fighting bed bugs is key to fighting poverty in Hamilton. He's very right. This, of course, is from Aidan Johnson, another one of the new members on council from Ward 1. Is this an alliance going forward between Matt and Aidan that we're going to see, Loren?
I don't know. And I really think that bed bugs needs to be separated from poverty. So in communal living and high apartment buildings, whether or not you make no money or have infinite money, if there's bed bugs in your building, they're coming into yours. So it's not just a poverty issue.
I don't think he's saying it's just, but it seems as though the rates of the bed bug infestations maybe go towards that end.
When it is in our Hamilton Public Library, that's not a poverty issue. That's a public health issue. I
agree. It's a public health issue. It may also be a poverty issue, and the fact that we've got two councillors thinking that it is means that this might be on the agenda going forward in the next council. Okay, thanks for the tweets. Let's get on to issue 3. Bill Cosby. If you've been following this particular issue, I'll take it from the 30,000-foot level, and Loren will give us the scoop on the local.